Welcome everyone, my name is Kevin King. Welcome. Ed, come on in. You heard the welcome from out there and came in. We got another one. John, have a seat. I got it right this time. How about that? Have a seat. Welcome to Mastermind Seminars Live. My name is Kevin King. When you came in here, if you're inside the room, you got a card. Why don't you refer to that? That's going to be our roadmap for today. I'll be your facilitator. And today we're talking about how to generate a large quantity of leads. In the past we have done, last month was powerful. If you missed it, go back to the archives and you've got to see the videos from last month. It was fantastic. It was talking about converting prospects faster. Once you get them, it's converting them faster. The month before that was converting more prospects to clients. The previous month was generating more and better leads. And beginning of the year was the value of installing systems. We don't understand the value of installing systems until we've achieved our life vision, have a life vision to achieve. So today we're talking about generating a large quantity of referrals. And what's really interesting about having a large quantity of referrals is that when the numbers go up, statistically speaking, the quality of the leads can come back down. But what we're here to do is to try and capture those and to make them work for all of us. So we're going to have 7 segments today. We're going to have a speed networking segment, and I want to invite everybody online. So here's the number to dial again. If you have any questions at all, it goes straight to my cell phone, not Katrina's, but it goes straight to my cell phone. And any questions that you have, we're going to get them answered here today, okay? So that's the number to call. Everybody see that? 630-386-5306. If you're a digit off, you might be ordering pizza. So, okay, this is the number that you need to call, all right? Fantastic. So the first segment is we're going to be doing speed networking. Ed's going to take us through that. The second segment is going to be wins and biggest challenges. Wins and biggest challenges. And then we're going to get into the BOSS, the business operating system of what the Mastermind Seminars is all about, which is the DNA of people, DNA of business, and the DNA of life. And Miriam, I, and Wendy are going to be leading that section up. Then we're going to be doing Q&A, because by the end of the time, we have a lot of information to get through in a very short period of time, and you're going to probably feel like you took a drink out of a fire hose. And that's okay, because you probably will. And we're going to try and debrief during that. But each segment, we're going to have an opportunity. So please, 630-386-5306, text in your questions so we can get them answered, okay? And then we're going to figure out what's happening for next time. So I'd like to bring up Ed Kirch. We're talking about generating a larger quantity of leads and referrals. Go ahead. Networking. How does that apply?
Networking is awesome. The more people you touch, the more people you talk to, it just is a given. People would rather do business with friends that they know than somebody they don't know. They're a lot easier to close than they are if you get a cold lead. You know, I found that out once by putting Yellow Page ads in. You know, I was nailing 90% of my listing appointments. I put Yellow Page ads in and was getting cold leads, and I didn't even hit like 10% of them. Because everybody from the Yellow Pages were looking for discounts and the other stuff. But when I got referrals, I just always nailed them. So for me, Yellow Pages don't work. So let's go around the room real quick. Tell people what you do, your name, contact information, your biggest challenge, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay?
You want me to start?
I want you to start.
Sure. My name is Kevin King. I'm with Healthcare Solutions Team. My number is 630-386-5306. And my greatest challenge is doubling my sales and not doing it in a significant more amount of time in order to get that.
Good morning, my name is Miriam Irie. I am with New Achievements Elite Coaching. I empower women in midlife to reach goals they never thought possible. My biggest challenge is staying focused on that. Again, my number is 773-690-0616. Thanks.
My name is John Barnick. My number is 630-439-6385. I'm with Inspire Realty Partners. My biggest challenge right now is closing leads and generating better quality leads.
Hi, my name is Wendy Moses. My number is 708-369-9008. My biggest challenge is staying more disciplined, and I am a coach.
name's Rosanna Borsma. I have an Awesome Women Call on Tuesdays. If you want to get involved in it, call me 630-649-4059, or you can text your number and I will go ahead and connect with you. Thanks.
My name is Chris Ballinger, 773-332-9747. I'm currently a storage engineer, and my biggest challenge is actually planning to get my business off the ground.
My name is Mark Boersma, president of Synergy Solutions. My biggest challenge is cloning myself faster. So with that, if you'd like to connect with me, call Wendy. And so she is able to clone me, and so you can call her and she'll take care of you.
My name is Ned Kirch. I sell real estate, it's real estate education. We teach people to become awesome real estate investors. My biggest challenge is to follow up on the leads I've got a little better than I'm doing. My phone number is 630-327-9370.
Hold on, that's perfect. Steve, would you like to introduce yourself?
Turn my phone off here.
Just to let you know we're live.
All right, I am Steve Roque. I'm the managing broker of Inspire Realty Partners, which is located on 75th Street in Aurora, right near Naperville. And so we're, if you want more information about
Phone
that
number
or-
and biggest challenge.
Phone number?
Phone number, biggest
So
challenge.
the office or my?
There's a
Doesn't matter.
All right, well, the office number is 630-423-5890, and my biggest challenge, I would say, is getting people to achieve their own goals and helping them to do that. Because it seems like they create a goal and they, for a week, try really hard to do it and then kind of peters out. So just kind of keeping that focus and the accountability and all of that and helping people to do that, so.
Cool.
I'd say that's-
Good job.
Welcome. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Have a seat.
We're done.
Okay, so now
Less
how
than
does
20
that-
minutes.
Okay, so now how does that relate to, how does the exercise we just did relate to generating a larger quantity of referrals?
If everybody was taking notes and writing down, talking to people, like after the event or before the event, you should be mingling with people, talking to them, getting business cards. And like again, I said, people know you, like you, will wanna do business with you.
So if I wanted to turn this into a system, I mean, it's great that there's, 6, 7 leads, but what if I want to add a 0 to that? What if I want 70
And it
or
was,
700?
for one, you network more, which becomes a time challenge.
Okay,
I heard a system yesterday, somebody told me that they just collect business cards. Everywhere they go into restaurants, they go wherever they go, they collect business cards. And they put on everybody in their database and follow up on their database.
okay.
He says he's got a shopping bag full of business cards.
So, I'd like to follow up on the 70 leads that, that you have from somebody out in Boston, I think,
Mhm.
that I had connected you to.
Mm-hmm.
And so you and Tim and Wendy are triangulating that.
Mhm.
And those are business people, and so if there's, if there's 500 that they have, what is that? 3,500 probably.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3,000 to 5,000 leads very easily in that one introduction, so how is that going?
That hasn't moved very quickly, but we've continued to, because one of the guys is on vacation right now.
Gotcha.
Tim's on vacation, so he's out. Tim, if you're watching this, I hope you're having a great time. But when he gets back, then the next step is to, in our strategic partnership, our profitable partnership, to meet and to figure out how that can work.
So how is that gonna help Tim, who's a printer, you, health insurance broker, and Wendy, who's coaching? How is that triangulation going to leverage 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people?
Well, the first thing is that if I can help free up, which I can, $300 to $500 a month in premiums for people on the average for health insurance, then they have more revenue that they can now reinvest into the person that had invited him, which is Tim, and Wendy's business coaching to make sure that all their business can run quickly, because if they, once we get those testimonials, we call it a box 12, is then we can now put that right back into our marketing, and that would generate a large quantity of referrals very quickly from the people who've been helped.
So what does everybody think about that?
Sounds like a lot of work.
Okay.
And if somebody falls through, then you don't have, then you're kind of stalemated.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
I guess the question for me is, where is the time being spent building the relationship?
The relationships have already been built
Okay,
with Tim's group
okay,
over a number of years.
okay.
I mean, and I wouldn't say, I mean, Synergy, we got a lead in, and it took 5 years to close that lead. So that says two things. One is, we got a really good system, you know, because we've followed through for 5 years. And two is, our system could definitely use some tweaks to not take 5 years to close. It's good, you know, and bad. You know, so it's both, so as the owner of the company, I'm excited, I'm like, wow, 5 years, that's a long time, I'm glad we stuck with it. So I'm excited about that, but I'm like, man, that's gonna take a long time to recoup all the costs, you know, the marketing, pre-sales, and sales costs to do that. And so I think I understand why it took 5 years, and I think the same thing could happen to the referrals, because I think there's the, I think that there's a magic element that's missing.
What is that magic element?
That's a fine question.
What
Is
is
the
that missing
system?
element?
If I were to answer that question, on the surface, if I were to answer that question, on the surface, it would look like I was arrogant. And I don't wanna look like I'm arrogant, unless, which personality would be okay looking like they're arrogant or narcissistic?
A driver?
No,
Be amiable,
no.
be expressive.
The expressive, for sure. The expressive, for sure. The driver doesn't like to be the center of attention. They're fine to be the, you know, the Wizard of Oz, the little man behind the curtain. They're fine with that. But the expressive loves to be the center of attention. So if I shift my energy into an expressive, then I'm okay with saying it.
Oh, how would you do that?
If I did that,
Yeah, what would it look like?
well, it depends on what kind of an expressive. Like if you just wanted to not be too much, you
Right.
could, I could just say, well, what's the missing element? It's me. It's simple, it's me.
Okay. What would be like the next level of expressive?
Well, that's just for entertainment, and there's a
Oh.
lot of driver, and I'm more interested in those 3,000 to 5,000 leads.
Yeah, me too.
Because that's gonna make a lot more money than me entertaining people being an expressive.
Good, so don't entertain. How do we get to 3 to 5?
I think it's the steely close. So in business, I think there's a huge misnomer that people do business with us because of a relationship. That is a really slow way to do business. I mean, Walmart doesn't do it that way, you know, Apple doesn't do it that way. And so, by and large, people aren't looking for relationships. They're just not. I mean, you know, if they do, they need to get a life. I mean, if somebody comes to this and say, you know, Mark, I'm just looking for a relationship. Like, really? I mean, really? That's okay. Cool. But they're not. And so what people are looking for is they're looking for value. And if you're selling B2B, business to business, they're looking to make more money, reduce the number of hours they're working, and, you know, reduce their stress and improve their life balance. Across the board, every business person in the planet is looking at doing that.
Mhm.
Now, if I can help them do that, there might be a relationship that comes from it. And I'm cool with that. So if you lead with value, Or, like we learned, I don't know, 7 months ago, insight selling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was really cool. And so, if we can bring people insight, and so it's something of a drive, it's something of a killer instinct. It's like, close it, for crying out loud. I mean, and that seems to be hard for the cube, the pyramid, and the ball, or a cube, a wavy line, and ball. I mean, and that for the pyramid, that's frustrating. It's like, why don't we close it? So I think that's what's missing, and so that if we don't get that into the system, and so the system has our our company's system, now has the firepower, the technology, all the pieces to follow up for 5 years, which is fine if that's what it takes. I guess that's what it takes, but it doesn't have to take that long, because if I'm following up, that's gonna close a lot faster. It just will. So it's like the fire in the belly. It's like, for goodness sake, are we gonna do it or are we not gonna do it? And so that, I think, is what's missing. Any ideas, Wendy? Kevin?
Yeah, I can text Tim and say, when are you coming home from vacation?
Okay, so that would help.
And then the next step would be, before he gets here, is to figure out a plan of what we're gonna be doing and lay that out so that it makes it easy for him to present the 70 clients.
Okay, so good. So if people are clear, this is what needs to happen. This is,
Whoa, hi buddy, how you doing? Hey, fantastic. You're starting me on here.
I think I should edit
If you're
that out.
tuned in, you can get a hold of mommy's cell phone. 630-386-5306 will help you overcome your biggest challenge. By the way, the bottle's in the fridge. Go get it.
so there's like when you're genetically engineering seeds, you look for very specific things in genetic structure, and then you take that genetic structure and you take it out and you put it there, and then you take another, put it there, and put it there, and put it there. Why? That seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, you're taking the best of the best, like
Taking of the best of the best.
disease resistance, sweetness of the corn, or the growth of it, or whatever.
Right.
It does take a long time, so how do you shorten that time?
It's like you have to be a very deep listener. And you have to know what you're looking for. So there's very specific things I'm looking for.
And what are you looking for?
Well, right now, like my mind is racing to, last month. I'm like, I got it. I know a specific box 12. I know a specific situation, something that was said that's unusual, and I gotta figure out how to capture that and then clone it and reproduce it. And so, because I got a big life vision. I got 7 billion people I gotta reach, and I'm not getting any younger. I gotta get this thing going. I gotta figure out how to reproduce it faster. And so, like Sophie's here, I think, in large part because of both the system, and it didn't take 5 years either. So the system's getting better. And so what the system did is put me in front of Sophie. Sophie, you made a commitment to go ahead and participate. Why aren't you participating? And she came up with a lot of good reasons in her own mind on why she didn't follow through. Most normal people would accept those excuses. Oh, okay. Me, I don't. And so I didn't. I just, because she quickly recognized the truth and and changed her position, the way she thought, I didn't have to go drive her on her, which is good for her and good for me. Why waste that energy if I don't have to?
Mhm.
And so Wendy is looking at, Wendy's looking at how to be a deep listener. And so Rosanna's looking at how to be a very interesting person. So it's like I'm mapping out specific things. And I'm putting this together into, it's just like genetic engineering. So I know what I need to be able to clone, and now I'm looking for things to be able to do that.
When you're talking about cloning, you're talking about cloning a system or cloning yourself?
Cloning myself and everyone else. So I have certain strengths, drive or analytics, so I wanna clone that, but then not so strong in the amiable and the expressive, although I can maybe fake it, kinda, sorta, for short periods of time. And so, like everyone in this room has something that I want and something I need. And I know that, so now it's just a matter of finding it. I could benefit everyone, because I have gifts that they don't have, each one of you don't have, and so, but do you know what gifts, what you need? And do you know how to clone it? Because if you don't, you walk away and you won't get that gift. So you gave the group a gift, last month. And you don't even know what it is, probably. And the group doesn't either. It's like, what? Why is the group not paying attention to this? It's like my 7 kids, it's like, are you ever gonna learn? I mean, are you paying attention to what Dad's teaching you? And it's been, 3 decades raising kids, it's like, your dad knows a little bit about life, why don't you pay attention? And I have those same feelings about this group. I just wanna.
So you think that's ego? We can't get past our own?
I don't know. It's the same thing that you had. It's like people say they have goals, but they give up on them. Or they think they're pursuing them and they show up, but they're not all in. They're not all paying attention. It's like there's all this magic in the room. The people come in and they go out. Come in and they go out. They don't stick with it. They're not hungry. They're not driven. They say they want it, but they don't really want it. And I don't understand why. Maybe because they're not clear on their life vision? I don't know. And this is the thing that puzzles me.
Didn't Mark Twain said that 96% of success is just showing up?
Yeah.
Right. And most people are,
Don't show up.
Most people believe it,
Right.
But
Right.
I don't think most people are truly showing up.
No, that's a good
They're
point.
not, they're not,
Even-
they
right,
think they
Even when
are,
we're here.
but they're not.
Right.
right, because if they were, then we'd know what John gave as a gift last month, but we don't. It's like, why is nobody paying attention to this? I don't understand that.
Because he questioned you?
That was
what
another gift.
What you said and then he questioned you?
That was so Wendy's looking at deep, so now, deep listening, so she said, I thought I was a pretty good listener, so now, she and I are gonna play. So now we're gonna play together. So she's gonna say, was it this? And it's like, nope, that was good, but that's not what I'm thinking, yeah.
Maybe it was the question that you asked the group about me.
What was that?
It was, who cares about John the most here?
And why was that significant?
Because it brought to light that no one really cares
Okay,
as much as they think they do.
okay. And what else? Did you have some? Okay.
I don't know, that's all I had. I thought that was it, that's it.
Well, it is, you're close.
All right.
Like, you're close, and that's the first time you started attending, I'm like, oh, he's different. He's different than the others. you had two other young guys that showed up too. And they were, and the three of you were amazing. But there's still one only left. It's like, what happened to the other two? Oh, they're just young males. They're dumb and irresponsible. And so, well, why aren't they here? I mean, that frustrates me.
So is it they don't know the three things, I can't remember them, but they don't know what they're missing, they don't know.
The level of cost, so what,
Yeah.
so if we say we're gonna do something and we don't do it, there's, I mean, it's because we don't understand the true benefit of doing it. We don't understand the true cost of not doing it, or we don't know how to get it done with our current level of resources.
And I think that's a big part of it. I think people think one thing that really is not true at all.
Right, and they're just,
But that goes back to your original point of ego.
Yeah.
If you take away your ego and look at it with no emotion, then it becomes clear that there's not a mesh. But if you have your ego in there, it's very easy to tell yourself a story that has nothing to do with the reality. And you can walk away from integrity. I mean, part of it is integrity. If you say, I'm going to do something, and you don't do it, there really is no consequence.
well, there is, we just don't realize it.
Right.
There's a huge consequence.
There's a huge consequence that
Huge.
people don't understand internally.
Right,
But if you're not called on it,
right.
then that's my biggest
Are
thing.
you saying that emotion connects into ego?
Yes,
Really?
I believe that.
I
yes.
never thought of that before. So people that are highly emotional have high egos? And people who emotionless have low egos? That might explain a lot. So, do you have any other further thoughts, questions?
Okay, so with that, costs, how do you use the knowing of that then to, I heard it once, you told me in the strategy session and on the phone call today with the question of if somebody has a goal, I'm assuming these are your employees, and they tell you, yeah, I'm so passionate about it, let's do this, let's get this done, and you understand these, how do you get these into their brains so you're not asking the same question every 3 months? I have these new people, they tell me
Well-
they're excited.
Well, in the
How do we
in the
get it
coffee
done?
connection, we went through an experience with Sophie, and it's like, you wanna do this, yes, is it a goal or is it a commitment? So you walk them through that process, and then, once they say it's a commitment, say, here's my understanding of a commitment, and so if you don't follow through on a commitment, then it's, then if I care about you, then I question your integrity. And then you do that.
And people aren't used to being talked to like that.
Right.
Yeah, so they're gonna be like, how could you say that to me?
Well, but if I've put the morphine in beforehand and told them everything, so this is what's going to happen. So I know that they're gonna go, cause they're normal, they're just normal human beings. They
Right.
think they're special, but they're really not. They could be, but because they choose not to be, they choose to be normal, they're gonna just be normal. They're not special. Not until they choose to be special. Everybody can make that choice. And so, why am I frustrated that those two guys aren't here? Why am I more frustrated than anybody else in this room?
Because they could have been the key to making everything happen.
Okay? Why else?
Because you care.
Why?
Because you're a leader and you're trying to get all the components together to reproduce them, and they might have been one of those components you thought you already had, and now you have to restart.
Okay. See, I invested about 10 minutes into them. For most people, investing 10 minutes is not that big of a deal. When I invest 10 minutes into something, it's a big deal.
There's value.
I mean, there's a tremendous value. I can change somebody's life in about 3 minutes. So that's 3.5 times the amount of time. So they're just stupid. I just want to see them both, and I just want to say, you're both stupid. I just want to tell you you're stupid. You're just an idiot. I mean, I don't know. Do women tell you this in your life? Do women tell you you're stupid? Because you're a young male. You're dumb and irresponsible. You know what? I'm 51. I can be dumb and irresponsible because people are like, oh, you're married 31 years. You have 7 kids. You're 50. You're responsible. A 20-year-old can't afford to be dumb because everybody's looking for that. People going, when I go ahead and if I'm irresponsible, they're like, oh, there's probably a good reason that he's irresponsible. They give me tons of room.
Why do you think people do that? Why do you think people do that? That's interesting.
Because a lot of them, it's the 50-year-olds that are saying, well, I'm busy, so he must be busy. I have good excuses. He must have good excuses. And so everybody's like, I tell you what, like there's this normal agreement for human beings. I won't call you on your stuff if you won't call me on mine.
Right.
Right.
And then we can all be
Unspoken rule.
normal. Really? Normal's way, way
Well, it's mediocrity.
overvalued.
Well,
That's
it
exactly
becomes-
right.
It becomes mediocrity.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
think that's where we are as a society, that
So do you think you're mediocre? How come those 2 guys aren't here? Do you know them? How come they're not here?
Work.
Oh.
Not, I mean, they're, most
Right,
most
so,
people work. Yeah.
okay, so,
Most people work.
but they.
showed up
Except me, I don't have to.
But they showed up before.
Well,
Jinx.
right, right. So the thing is okay, so I understand being enslaved. So you gotta have, you have responsibilities, food on the table, who knows, whatever. So if they have a real job, okay, I get that. But they still could show up on Saturdays. They could go ahead and still, phone me or email me. They could still do some type of activity. Every time I don't see them and I see you, my energy and frustration grows.
So can I ask a question?
I feel like, so are you making that my responsibility?
Sure.
Okay. That's what I was getting
Right,
at.
absolutely, why not? You're a young male, that's why people are prejudiced against you, because of those 2. So, yeah, no, absolutely. And why else am I doing it? Why else am I holding you accountable for their behavior?
He raises him.
Yeah, because if you care about them, which you should care about them for a number of reasons, well then you're going to go ahead and care enough to get them to go ahead and take some type of action. Plus, you missed a 30-minute strategy session. You remember that?
When was it?
I think it was this week or last week. I think Teresa scheduled it. Somebody scheduled it with you and me.
I had a strategy session with her.
Yeah, I know, but there was one scheduled for me.
I don't remember.
We'll need to check on that. So, the thing that's, like, somebody who's curious, it's like people aren't that curious. Like, I'm frustrated about 2 guys not showing up. It's like, well, why is Mark frustrated and we're not? I mean, you should be frustrated. There's 3 elements to frustration: how much you work, how much you care, and your level of expectation. So raise your work, raise how much you care, and raise your level of expectation, and you'll have a breakthrough. That's what you will do. And so, with John, I mean, why would he choose me as the one who cared the most? I mean, how long have I known him? How does he see that I care more than anybody else? Does nobody else want him to think that they care about him? I mean, what's the magic? What is the magic, and how do we transplant that to other people? And so Miriam she's losing all these opportunities, and it's driving me insane. I just am so frustrated. I just want to shake her and then hug her. Shake her and then hug her. Just like, why is she doing this? Why is I see missing all these opportunities. How come nobody cares? Does nobody see it? Are they blind, or am I just like, is it a beautiful mind moment for me? Am I just insane?